Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive? Today we're going behind the scenes of live events, concerts, those big theatrical productions. We're talking about the people who make it all come together. The ground riggers.
Yeah. It's a job most people don't even realize exists. But I'll tell you what, without them, those dazzling shows we all love just wouldn't be possible.
Seriously, it's like they make tons of equipment just disappear or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
Or at least make it look like it's floating up there above the stage, right? So let's break it down. What does a ground rigger actually do all day?
All right, picture this. You're at a concert, lights are blinding, music's thumping. You look up and you see this massive structure, right? Loaded with speakers, lights, LED screens, the whole shebang.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That thing is suspended with cables, ropes, pulleys, a whole system.
Yeah.
And that right there, that's the handiwork of a ground rigger.
So wait, it's more than just muscle then. They're not just like hoisting stuff up and hoping for the best.
No, 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 not even close. One of the sources I looked at, it was a rigging supervisor, and he said it best. A good ground rigger needs the strength of a weightlifter and the mind of an engineer. They're like the high rigger's right-hand man, making sure those crazy rigging plans actually work and are actually safe. We're talking reading blueprints, understanding weight distribution, probably even doing some quick math on the fly.
Whoa, hold on. I'm already getting nervous just thinking about all that weight just hanging up there.
Yeah.
It sounds intense.
Oh, it can be. One story I came across, this ground rigger spent like 16 hours straight rigging a festival stage, and it was pouring rain the whole time.
Oh, wow.
Talk about dedication. This is not a job for someone who gets tired easily, I'll tell you that much.
No kidding. Yeah. So given all that, what would even make someone want to do this kind of work? Let's talk pros and cons. What are the upsides of being a ground rigger?
Well, first off, the job market's hot, hot, hot right now. Tons of demand for skilled riggers, which translates to good pay, obviously.
Makes sense.
Plus, let's be real, there's a certain coolness factor to it, being behind the scenes of these huge productions.
Yeah. I mean, how many people can say they helped build the stage for, like, Beyonce? Those are some serious bragging rights.
Exactly. It's fast-paced, exciting, you're working with some seriously talented people, and come on, the stories you could tell at parties. Legendary.
Okay, that does sound pretty awesome, but you did say cons. What are the tough parts of this job?
Well, as we've kind of touched on, it's demanding. Long hours, heavy lifting, working at heights, sometimes in terrible weather. It takes a toll on you, for sure.
Yeah.
And you're dealing with, some dangerous equipment high above people's heads. Safety is absolutely critical.
Oh, yeah. One wrong move could be disastrous.
Exactly. So you got to have nerves of steel, that's for sure.
Okay, so physically and mentally tough, check. What other qualities do you need to succeed as a ground rigger?
So the sources I looked at all said you need a mix of those hard skills and what they call soft skills. On the technical side, you need to know how things work, mechanical stuff, right? You got to be able to look at a technical drawing and actually understand it, and you can't be afraid to get your hands dirty.
Yeah, makes sense.
But it's not all just nuts and bolts, though. You also need those soft skills, like communication. You're part of a team. Things can get really intense, so being able to talk clearly, give instructions, take instructions, that's huge.
Oh, I bet. Especially in those high-pressure situations.
Yeah.
One, miscommunication.
Could be a big problem. You need to be able to trust the people you're working with, especially when there's risk involved.
Absolutely. So good communication, strong work ethic, not afraid of heights. What else should someone interested in this career path know?
Well, there were a few terms that came up a bunch that we should probably talk about. Like, have you ever heard of a chain hoist or truss construction?
Honestly, no, not really. But I'm guessing they're pretty important in the world of rigging, right?
Yeah, those are kind of the bread and butter of rigging. So a chain hoist, it's basically a heavy-duty lift. It uses chains and gears, and it can lift those really heavy things like speakers, lighting rigs, all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're essential. And then truss construction, that's like the framework of the whole thing. Usually it's made of steel or aluminum, and it supports all that equipment we were just talking about.
Gotcha. So it's kind of like putting together this giant, super strong jigsaw puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Except it's like way up in the air and you have to know exactly what you're doing.
Exactly. And you can't just like muscle it into place. You need to understand how the tools work, how to maintain them, fix them if something breaks.
Yeah, I bet. Speaking of which, you mentioned earlier that this field is always changing, that new technology is popping up all the time.
Right. In fact, one article I read, it was talking about how automated rigging systems are becoming more and more common.
Oh, wow. What does that mean, automated rigging systems? Like robots doing the rigging?
Well, not quite robots, but close. They use computers and motors to control how the rigging equipment moves. It can make things more efficient, but It also means riggers need to know how to use this new tech, right?
Right. So it's not just about muscle anymore. You have to have some tech skills too.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that changes the career path too. You don't just stay a ground rigger forever, do you?
Well, you can if that's what you want. But yeah, there's definitely room to move up in this field. Like, you could become a level rigger, which means you're in charge of a specific area of the rigging setup.
Okay.
Or eventually you could even become a high rigger, and that's the person who's overseeing the entire operation.
Wow, so you could be calling the shots one day. I'm guessing experience is a big part of climbing that ladder.
Huge. But getting certified can also help a lot.
Yeah, are there like rigging schools or something?
Not exactly schools, but there are certifications. The big one is the ETCP, which stands for Entertainment Technician Certification Program. They have a bunch of different certifications all about rigging.
So it's like a way to prove you know your stuff.
Exactly. It shows employers, clients, whoever, that you're serious about safety, that you know what you're doing. It's like having a degree, but for rigging.
Makes sense. Okay, so experience certifications. What about networking? Is that important in the rigging world?
Oh, huge. I mean, this whole industry is built on relationships. You go to trade shows, join industry organizations, even just connect with other riggers online. It can lead to new opportunities, help you learn about new technologies.
Right.
One article I read said that a lot of ground riggers find jobs through word of mouth, like someone recommends them for a job or they hear about an opening from a friend.
Yeah, it's all about who you know.
Exactly. So yeah, network.
Put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned having a good portfolio earlier. I bet that's important too, right?
Yeah.
Especially in a field that's so visual.
Super important. Having a strong portfolio is key for any ground rigger. You want to have high quality pictures, videos, whatever you can get of your past projects. It shows potential employers or clients what you're capable of, what your style is.
It's like your rigging resume.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the physical demands, the technical skills, the communication, the networking. Being a ground rigger is no joke. But there's got to be more to it than that, right?
Yeah.
What about the rewards besides the paycheck? What makes this a fulfilling job?
Yeah.
It's one thing to, be good at the technical stuff, but what about that feeling? What's rewarding about this job on a personal level?
Well, imagine this. You're there on opening night and you see this amazing show, this spectacle come to life, and you know that you literally helped build it from the ground up. That's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it's like you're creating this whole world, this temporary world for the performers, the audience.
Exactly. And then the lights go down, the music starts, the crowd goes wild, it's electric, and you're a part of that, You help create that energy.
Talk about job satisfaction. And it's not just the audience, right? We talked about the teamwork aspect. What's the camaraderie like between ground riggers?
Oh, from everything I've read, it's
Yeah.
one of the best parts of the job. Riggers, they form these really strong bonds with each other. They're putting in long hours, often in tough conditions. Their safety depends on each other. It's a real team effort.
It's like a brotherhood, or I guess a brotherhood, A&D, sisterhood.
Right. There's a shared passion for the work, for the magic of live events, and it creates this really special kind of community.
So let's see. You're getting paid to stay in shape.
Yeah.
You're working with cool technology. You're part of this tight-knit crew, and you're helping create these amazing experiences that people love.
Yeah, it's not a bad gig if you can get it.
Not bad at all. So as we wrap up here, what's the biggest takeaway you hope listeners get from this deep dive? What do you want them to remember about ground riggers?
I think the biggest thing is just most people have no idea this whole world exists. It's behind the scenes, but it's this incredible career path if you have the skills, the dedication, and you're not afraid of a little hard work.
Absolutely. This deep dive has definitely opened my eyes to a whole new side of the entertainment industry, that's for sure.
That's what we like to hear.
So next time you're at a concert or a show, remember to look up and think about all the work that went into making that happen, all the people behind the scenes like the ground riggers who make it all possible. And until next time, keep exploring and keep diving deep.